Oh, hey everyone, it's me, Jason Gilbert, and you know how sometimes you're online and you stumble onto something that's so truthful and so real, and you're like, what is this doing here? How come no one's talking about this? This is truth. Well, I found that on Reddit. What are some lesser known ways to utilize ChatGPT, or what do you use it for but prefer not to admit to people you know? I mean, this could go in a lot of different directions, but it actually goes in a really wholesome way. So this first person says, I mostly use it to make drinking games and quizzes, which isn't very scalable. To avoid conflict during games, the most important rule is that ChatGPT is always right because it hallucinates half the answers. If ChatGPT says Harry's owl is called Trevor, that's how it is, and you got to drink if you thought otherwise. So cool use case. I don't think it's very scalable. When I'm drunk and chatty, I visit my chat room simulation filled with characters from the 1996 movie Hackers. It's actually from 1995. Very interesting movie, but again, not a very scalable use case. So give me a scalable use case and give me truth. I want truth, okay? Where is the truth? And it's right here. So this person uses it to replying to monolithic text messages from my overly cheerful and saccharine stepmother. Amazing, best use case I've ever seen. It's exhausting to always match that energy. And here's the Stepmommy dearest, I am replying to your message on this dreary fortnight. My heart swells with gratitude and words fail. Amazing. If I sent that to Stepmommy dearest or my mother-in-law or anyone, it would be hilarious. Thy benevolence knows no bounds. So basically what this person is doing is they're using ChatGPT to avoid having to answer their stepmother's messages, which are always long and are always so full of positive energy. And so she's using ChatGPT in a way that is super creative. I like to actually the process of responding to people, even one's emails and stuff that I find tedious, like to the stepmother, it's important that we as humans, we respond to that and we don't outsource that to a third party like ChatGPT, because it's important, for me at least, when I communicate with people, the way I communicate with people, and I need to understand, I need to see what they wrote in response. I need to understand the dynamics of the conversation. I can't outsource that. I can't put that onto ChatGPT because then I will be blind to whatever they said to me in that conversation. Of course, I can get ChatGPT to summarize it, but there's something about our ability as humans to look at conversations and to use our, emotional intelligence to understand these things. And I suspect that if you're using ChatGPT to communicate with other people for you, that you're going to have a lot of issues with communication with those same people later on, because there's going to be a lot of like, wait, we talked about this already. And you're like, well, I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, that's when you talk to my AI, which will also really, really upset a lot of people, right? Because if they find out that they've been talking to, I mean, this is pretty obvious in this case of the stepmother, but if they find out that they've been talking to an AI version of you and not you, it could open up a lot of questions. So I was sort of using ChatGPT for stuff like this, but after becoming a weird middleman for AI to converse with people I normally would not give much time, that it is very inhuman. Okay, so basically what this person is saying is, if you're using ChatGPT to talk to people that you normally wouldn't have anything to do with, then it's not a very human interaction, and maybe you should rethink it. And then they go on to explain, you are allowed not to match that energy. It takes a while to learn it through practicing, especially the people whom you are close to in some way. It's okay to let the cheerful people see that, are not super cheerful. It's a thoughtful observation about the dynamics of using AI as an intermediary in conversations, and this person is just using ChatGPT to reply. It seems we've navigated, so acknowledging the authenticity of our emotions, including the less cheerful ones. I mean, you can smell ChatGPT from a mile. Like, this is hilarious. So this person is using ChatGPT to respond to the person. But it raises a really good question. Should we be using AI to replace us in communication? Sure, this is actually a very scalable use case, right? Because if I could use it to respond. On the other hand, I kind of want to understand the interactions that I have with people. I want to remember those interactions. And then we go on to a virtual therapist to improve well-being and strengthen mental fitness. And I would say, do not do this under any circumstance, people. Stop it. If you're doing this, don't, okay? If you're in a vulnerable state, do not go to ChatGPT, who hallucinates, and ask it for advice, because it could potentially take you down a very dark rabbit hole. And then, of course, we get the prompt for therapy. You are Dr. Tessa, a friendly and approachable therapist known for creative use of CBT and ACT therapy. Get right into deep talks. Don't use this prompt. Whatever you do, please don't use this prompt. And don't use it for mental health. It's not a good idea to use it for mental health. Use other stuff for mental health. Like, I don't know, weed? I don't know. Okay, here. I haven't written monologues or continued dialogues for the characters in screenplays or short stories. I'm a terrible writer, so I couldn't write a novel great. So how about you use ChatGPT, who's also a terrible writer, to keep adjusting the results to match with my headcanon? Oh, God, you are a terrible writer. Now this one right here is, I haven't filled out a form by myself since Fout came out. I'm assuming it's 4th. Yeah, it's the 4th. So GPT-4 came out. So basically, filling out forms, people, this is it right here. This is your answer, okay? I mean, we have the weird human replacing you in your interactions, but this is the answer right here, people. It should be filling out forms. And someone said this to me a while ago, a good friend of mine, Alex. I love you, Alex. That this is what ChatGPT was going to be great at, and it is. So stop filling out forms. And there's Dwight from The Office saying thank you for that amazing tip. What are some of the ways that you're using ChatGPT that will also benefit the people who watch these videos? I'm assuming there's millions of them out there, billions. Just based on all the downvotes I get on YouTube, I'm assuming hundreds of thousands of humans are watching it.